All right. Tonight we are going to finish Handard City. So yesterday I was on for a little bit just to talk through the what was missed, and I added all of the buildings as well as some of this detailing for the borders, the grass, the trees, the rocks, things like that. So what we're going to do today is continue those details in the upper area for the city, and then we're going to design a puzzle to access the gym. And what I have in mind for this puzzle is that the player is going to need to use strength. And we'll talk more about the specifics, but just that this is going to be a puzzle involving moving boulders around to try and get through narrow passages. With all that being said, let's just get right into it. So I'm going to continue the same fencing that I've used. The brown like metal poles. And this is going to be your beach access point. It kind of is. I hope it'll encourage the player. Ooh, the music's loud. I hope that music's a little bit better. Let me know if it's not. Yeah, so as I was saying, I added this beach access point because I want to encourage the player to go through when they get surf, to use that to get to Byland Islands. Obviously they don't have to, but I'm going to show what is directly above this part of the map. And that's the Eastern Trail. And so you can see that this is the water that'll connect in. It'll go up under these bridges. And then there's sort of this, border to kind of keep the player in. And then the island will be just up here, the islands. So this house is where you will get surf. And I'll probably put a requirement like, you need a certain number of gym badges. Potentially that's one, because I don't want a player to, right when the game starts, to just beeline straight to this city, grab surf, and put it on their, level 10 water Pokemon. Because it is a good move, and I worry that it may make the game unbalanced. Alternatively, I could just do that, and in case players ever by chance go there. I just worry that someone will play that knowing it in advance, and it'll just kind of skew the game experience. So I'll probably put it behind a barrier. That being said, this is going to be like an old sailor's house. So I know exactly what we'll do for this. So we'll put a lighthouse right next to him. Let's see how big it is. Maybe we'll end up doing something like this next to his place. Because I'm under the impression there's a pretty big lighthouse in this tile set. Yep, that's it. That will probably make it onto the islands. So we won't go with that. We'll go with the smaller decor. And then we can even, we'll see how I'm feeling with this, but we could even do something like this. I'm not that eager to commit to that guiding post, because on the trail above it, this is what we have. We actually have two places to plant berries. So with that in mind, I'm probably not going to go that way. I'll probably just end up putting trees. right here. Which means that we need a treetop poking through on the bottom. I like that. I like that. Those, if those were even, instead of this one being a little bit higher in the tile set, I'd be more willing to jump at that. But as it stands now, I don't think I can. I'd have to just make it symmetrical and go like that. Which, I mean, not the end of the world. I could do that. And then I think the guy next to him, this house is going to have a fenced-in yard. To be determined if you'll be able to access it. Part of me thinks no. Oh, I need to go down a layer right here. And then I need to put the roof on the third layer. And there we go. And I think with how I have that set up, the backyard won't be accessible to the player. Which means I can honestly put whatever I want there. I'm looking for some detailing that I haven't used yet. So I'm realizing I haven't really made a bike area. Maybe I'll make this a bike shop. Which, to be honest, I haven't even thought about. I haven't even thought about how the player will get access to a bike. I also figure because it's a bike yard, it's not going to be as like well kept. It'll be frequently walked on. There we go. Adds a little fun color to it as well. Now, before I forget, I need to remember to incorporate lampposts into this city because the Eastern Trail leads into the city with 2. And it looks like I do like 2 spaces in between. So I should count 2 down, and then the next one's base will be right there. Which, if the next one's base is what I said, 2 down, you have that, and then you go right there, and there's 1 blank space between them. I think for it to be even, it's actually going to go like that. Right? No. No, no, no. No, I'm overthinking this. I think it really is just like that. And so we'll just keep these going, right? Yeah, yeah. Can't, and that's too far. I think we'll just go like that. And then we need to sprinkle these in other places. Which is honestly unfortunate that I didn't catch this sooner. Because as you can see, I already built out most of the town, and I did not have lampposts in mind. Would it be weird if I just had those and no other lamppost? Man, I think I know what I'll do. I'll just put 2 down. One right there, one right there. And then with those in mind, go like that. If I could fit just like 1 or 2 somewhere down here, I'd feel a lot better about these posts. I don't want to get rid of those trees as part of the issue. If I could think of something good to do to kind of replace them. I feel like more important than just a wall of trees is some cohesive elements to this map. So I'm gonna keep it and just work with it. Short fence. Actually, does the layering work for me to do something like that? Or does it look weird for the fence and the post to... Yeah, those can share the same spot. Okay, that looks better. There's something better I could probably do here. Yep. Maybe I'll put like a... I'll put an NPC in this area to talk to. Okay. I feel a bit better about that addition. I definitely want to block the player with something right here. Can these share the same square and look good? I think that actually works. And you shouldn't be allowed back there, I don't think. Let's do that on this side now as well. These curves, these curved endings are really interesting to work with. Do I want to run it that far? Let's look. Let's see. Uh-oh, that's under. Both of these are under the gym. That's because the gym's on the third layer. If I do this, I'll have to figure out what to do over here, but I like the symmetry. I think I may just end it right there. I mean, either way, I'm going to have to figure out what to do right here. So I guess that point isn't valid. Let's back it up. Let's back it up to there. And before I forget, let's fix that gym layering. There we go. Okay. I have a second idea to take a look at. There we go. I think that works. It kind of frames the gym. And what I can do here is I can figure out what gym this is going to be and style this appropriately. Cuz I already feel like well, let's look at it together, okay? This is probably going to end up being a rock, ground, or steel type gym, just because of the strength puzzle that I'm planning on. This gym could be anything. It's rather bland. This gym also looks like it's leaning to a rock, ground, or steel type. Though it doesn't have to be strictly. You do need Rock Smash to get to this gym. And part of me is confused, because like, if the player needs to get rock... Oh, this could be a fighting gym. Because if the player needs rock Smash to get to this gym, I don't want it to be rock type, because then they'll already have like... They'll need to have a move that's effective against this gym to even get here. But it makes sense if it's a fighting type gym and you need a fighting type move to access it. Snorlax just chilling. This town, this could be grass, but it's open. It's open. It could be more than that. You do need cut to get to it. I mean, this gym also honestly could be anything. And then the islands I haven't done yet. So one of them's going to be an ice gym, I think. I think that's the only... That's as far as I've gotten. So this could be... I could make this a grass type gym, or a poison type gym, and then I could sort of lean into the like I could do something like this. And that kind of that definitely fits more of the grass type gym look. It's not like there's anything on this tile set that's poison type-esque, you know? I do like how that looks, though. I think it looks very fun. I'll leave it for now. I'll leave it. I think that's great. Now let's take a look at up here. Because this is going to be, you're coming down, you're connecting right here, and the grass ends. And I don't want the grass too close together because there are different encounters, and I think it'd be weird if you had different encounters within like a one tile set space. So I'm not even going to bother with grass. I'm definitely going to put something else there. After putting these lampposts in, I forgot to put the little light if it's nighttime with the shadow feature. So I'm just going to do that real quick. I know I'm listening to custom remixes of Animal Crossing songs, but this one's reminding me of Celeste. I don't want to do another row of light posts. I think that's too much. So I'll need to think of something else to run along here. The problem with these is that I don't think they really line up with the, well, I think that I have this problem for everything. I don't think they quite match the lampposts, because the lampposts, you'll notice, are on the top right of a tile, and these are centered. When in doubt, I could put a signpost welcoming you to the city. Actually, I'm gonna put that down. Initially a joke, but I do like welcome signs in Pokemon. Whenever I don't know what to do with a space, I instantly just make it like a different texture of grass. I'll just throw a random rock out. Okay, potentially some space there. I could put like a bike just tucked away in the corner. Or like a pot. I think I'll do 2 pots. And we'll put an event in. If you select the pot, it'll say, this pot is full of water. I'll just copy that event over there. Easy. We'll put an event here that when you select on it, it just says, "Welcome to Handard City." Okay, I think we're looking at... I think the last thing to do is the puzzle to access the gym. So let's just take a second. We'll walk around the town. We'll see how it looks when you have a more limited view. I like it so far. I'm under the impression that those should really only be on if it's nighttime. Okay, let's go into debug. Information options, metadata, Southern Trail. We have it raining 100% of the time. I think that's too high. Let's just go 10%. Oh, I didn't save it. There we go. Let's also set Handard City. It is outdoors. We do want to show the area when you enter. You can bike. You don't have to bike. Healing spot, I'll skip for now. Weather effect, we're going to go with none. Map position, we're skipping. Dive map, dark map, safari map. All of these things don't matter right now. Something that does matter is the environment. This is the background for a battle, a Pokemon battle. And I don't think I'll do a graveyard. I think I'll do a puddle. Save changes. And now when we enter, it should stay dark. Not as dark because it's not raining. It's not heavy rain. And there you go. Now you get your shadows as you walk through the town. I think that looks awesome. Haven't added any of the buildings yet, any of the interiors. There's our message. The entrance to the gym. I like that. That looks very fun to me. And then, is this too many lights? Nah, that's fine. That's not a problem. Okay, we're gonna save. Perfect. Now let's talk. Honestly, this next part is not going to be the fastest thing in the world. Sorry, I had to adjust the window. Because I need to figure out the puzzle. And when I make puzzles, I tend to reverse engineer them. Let's go to the default Pokemon Essentials maps. And let's pull in a boulder that you need strength for. Let's just paste that in, and we'll probably end up duplicating that a lot. Oh. More window problems. Okay, so I like to reverse engineer my puzzles, and that always starts with understanding what choices the player needs to make while moving through a puzzle. Because if you don't consider each of the options you're giving a player while building a puzzle, you oftentimes end up making a puzzle that solves itself, where really the player is faced with no choices and they just need to essentially walk through what you've built. So, the last choice that the player needs to make is where to push the last boulder. And I see this working, and right now it's just a rough sketch. And we can finalize and move it around how we need to. But right now, I imagine it'll look something like this. We'll do something like this. And then we'll make 2 access points. And so the player has 2 ways to approach this boulder and 2 ways to push it. And if they push it the wrong way, then it'll actually block the entrance. But as incentive, I'll also make it so, well, not as incentive, but sort of to make up for them messing up the puzzle the first time, if they do. I'll also make the second route a path to an item. And so I think what I'll do here is I'll say the player is probably going to approach from the left side or the bottom side. And I imagine that if they approach from the left side, well, I guess I have enough space I could make them approach from the right side. But in my mind, you need to approach from the bottom and push the boulder up so that you can get here, and this will be the path that leads to the gym. And then if they push it this way, it'll dead end, and they won't be able to continue to move the boulder around. So with that very rough sketch in mind, let's figure out where we want to put this on the actual board. I don't want to put it too close to the gym because that restricts like where the item can go when you push the boulder. So I think I'm just going to move it right there. And now I need to fill in that hole that I made. Okay. Let's build out the posts, which are always farther down than I think they will be in the tile set. I think building out the posts looks something like this. Then this can actually go a little bit farther. So if the player comes in from the left, they push it to here, and then they're stuck. But they do get an item that'll put up here. I need to move the gym. I just need that bottom corner to be on the second layer instead of the third. So there's an example of one choice. And I guess just sort of stacking these choices are how you increase the difficulty for the player when they're trying to figure it out. Because arguably one thing I could do is just make it so right out the gate the player can access this and can just walk right in here. And I think that very easily keys them into the fact that A, they need strength to even get to this gym. And then well, so this is a downside. If I do make this left approach immediately accessible, it almost removes the puzzle quality. Because one of the first things a player may do when they get here is just start pushing a boulder. And if they just start pushing a boulder, then they'll immediately recognize, oh, this doesn't get me to the gym, and then that eliminates a choice. I mean, these puzzles aren't that hard, though. I don't think I can really trip up a player with something like moving a boulder around. That being said, I do make pretty gnarly ice puzzles. Those are a lot harder to decipher because oftentimes you can make them too big to see the entire board while the player's sliding around on ice. And I do think that's kind of cheap because then, well, at the same time, it is an element of puzzle design. The player needs to be aware of the space they're moving around in and keep track of it, even when it's not on the screen. But I also see it as potentially frustrating for a player to be solving an ice puzzle where they're sliding around and they're not exactly sure where the boulders on the ice are. But that's a side tangent. So now, obviously, we have this space that the player will be approaching from. So let's make sure that isn't immediately accessible to the player. I worry that I didn't give myself enough space to actually build a good puzzle here. I am working with half of what the original puzzles here do, because in the original games, you're not just using strength, you're also pushing the boulders into the right holes for them to drop down a layer, so that you can then, slide around on ice and hit those boulders. Which, at its core, that game is just asking you, can you recognize multiple layers in a 2D game? Yeah, so you can see this is the boulder, this is the hole that you're supposed to push it into, and after you push it into the hole, it falls right here. And then that lets you slide along here, 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 and you access the sign. Which, the sign doesn't say anything special. I did say this would probably take a while just to think through. Because right now, I think it's too easy. Right now, a player is going to walk up and they're either going to immediately push this boulder and realize they've blocked their path, or they're going to just come down here and just walk around and push it in right there and get to the gym. I could give myself more room. I have some leeway over here. Sorry, I just realized that the layers were off on the gym for the right side as well. And it's fixed. Okay. Okay, let's think about this. I could do something like this. And this immediately shows to the player, you need strength to get here. And then you push it twice. 1, 2. And now you have access to go up or down. If you go up and push, you lock it in. If you go down, you can just come up and push here. What would be awesome is if I made it so the player has to push it this far to get in to the puzzle. So again, it'll be here initially. You have to push it 1, 2 times, and then you can go up 3 times to go down. And then immediately, if you go down and you come around here, you have to push it back to go up here. Again, this isn't the most complicated puzzle, but I am working with half of the features. Ideally, I want to make another little like decision point here on this end, because I do like how this is built out now. I like the back and forth where you have to push it 3 times, then push it back once to access the right point. Yeah, that's actually, yeah, I do like that. But what can I do with this area? Oh, here's a thought. Yeah. Well, let's explore it. Let's explore it before we write it off. Okay, so now this boulder, you can push up or to the left. And because you're coming from this bottom row, I wonder if I can sort of bait players into pushing it up. Well, actually, no, I want to... Because here's the thing. With this moved to here, if you start pushing this puzzle, this boulder to the left, you'll actually get stuck. So you need to move this boulder out of the way instead of just pushing it to the left. Pushing it up is too easy. I need to make it so the player has the opportunity to pass it on the left, has the opportunity to just access it and start pushing it to the left to get it out of their way. I shouldn't make it so the player can push it up, is I guess what I'm getting at. That's sort of impossible. Okay, I'm just gonna... Oh, do you know it'd be kind of devious? Something like that. Because now if the player pushes it here, and then goes around here, and then pushes this up to come here and push this here and push this here, they can still get through. But alternatively, I could make it so if they push it here, then they're stuck. I'd have to get rid of this, because they'd push this here, and they wouldn't be able to... I knew this puzzle would take a long time to really build out. Puzzles always do. I think it'd be really cool to do it this way. You need to push it in only twice. If you push it in 3 times, you're stuck. And the idea would be you push it in twice, you come up here, you actually do block this off, and then you come around here and you access the gym from the left side. That's the intended route. And so I need to make it so if the player goes too far, like they push it to here, and then they come up here and push this to the right, they're now stuck. They can't go down and push this any farther. And they can't keep just pushing this along, because it'll get stuck there. But that's only 2 elements out of the 3 boulders I'm working with. I need to think about what's stopping a player from just going like this, coming down here, going around, pushing this up, and then calling it a day. I'm just gonna build, and let's think about it. Actually, probably want to go like that. Bring it down here. Okay. And that's the starting point. Easiest way to solve. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, and you're in. So I need to make it so the player can't just push it that many times. Which is a problem because my intended route... I don't think this is going to work. I think I'm going to have to backtrack this plan. Because my intended route was you push it twice, you actually close this off, and then go down, and then push this out of the way. And the idea with this boulder is that if you push it up to then come around here to access it from this side, you've closed off this, and then you've also closed off this, ideally. I mean... Right now, oh, this is another thing about puzzle design. The number of ways you can solve a puzzle also helps determine how easy a puzzle is. If you could build a puzzle with only 1 intended route, it's inherently going to be harder for the player to figure out than the same puzzle with 2 solutions. And right now, I've just made a puzzle with like 4 solutions. I think you... I think I made a puzzle that you'd have to go out of your way to get stuck in. You know, I don't need to make every puzzle the hardest thing in the world. Though I do enjoy making hard puzzles. I think I don't have enough room to really build out the puzzle that I want to build. Okay. Let's just play it. Let's see. See how it plays. Made a bunch of changes to the map. It wants to compile everything again. Okay, let's do it. No sound effect? Disappointing. Okay, so now you have two choices. If you move this top boulder, you're stuck. Because it'll go here, it'll get stuck here, and then if you go down here, you can't push this boulder to the left, but to the right, so you have to go around and then push it up and you get stuck. So the solution is actually to keep pushing this. Oh, I think I made it so it's unsolvable. Perfect. Yeah, I did. I'm interested. Let's... Actually, no. I'm not going to quit out. I'm just going to see how far a player has to travel to reset these. They'll probably have to leave the map and re-enter it. And I hope players are comfortable doing that. I'm in debug mode, so I'm just going to walk through walls to make this a little bit faster. Oh, that's actually not good. They don't respawn. I could write an event that when you touch, it moves the events back to their original position, sort of as a default. And I'll actually make it a signpost. I'll put like a welcome to the gym sign right here. And it'll say like, you know, whatever the gym leader's like, such and such is gym. And then it'll say, it'll pose a question. Do you want to reset the puzzle? And if you click yes, it'll reset the puzzle for you. That being said, let's just look at the puzzle again from our design screen. Okay, so what I did in the game, so I currently think my first impression is I made a puzzle that can't be solved, and I want to make it obviously solvable, but not in the easiest way possible. So when the player comes in, they're going to move this boulder over twice, and then they're presented with a choice. They can continue to move this boulder and access the bottom point, or they can move this boulder and access it from the top. Both of those decisions really depend on what direction you want to approach the third boulder in. Because if you want to approach the third boulder from the left, then you'd move the top one. If you wanted to approach the boulder from the bottom, you'd move this one. Unfortunately, and this is where I get stuck, unfortunately I made it so you can't actually push the boulder to the left. And that's why it's unsolvable. If the player came in and moved this, came down here, moved this to the left, to move this to the right, then they could access this point. Now, I don't know if that's how I want the puzzle to be solved. Because so what I could do is I could delete this tile, and then the puzzle's solvable by moving the top rock, coming down, pushing this, and going up and around, which is how I'm leaning right now. The second way to make this solvable is to remove this post above this boulder, because then what the player would do is move this boulder, come down here, move this boulder up, move this to the left, and then move this up, and then they'd have access. Which, now that I'm saying out loud, another way that you can determine how easy your puzzle is, one of the metrics you can look at, is how long is the solution. The longer the solution, like the more choices that go into making the right path, the higher the difficulty of the puzzle is. Again, this puzzle that I'm building out is super easy, but let's look at the two potential solutions and see which one's longer. So that's move it twice, move that boulder once, move that boulder once, and you're in. That's moving the boulders 4 times. Or you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is the longer solution. That's what I'm going to use. And also an added benefit of this solution versus other solutions is that it has one moment that's rather unintuitive that I at least hope get people to stop and think, which is they need to block their path. And I think that they see there are 2 paths to this gym entrance, and this is closing off one of them. So, and then I'll still put an item here. Just so I don't forget, I'm actually going to throw a Pokeball down. Where's my Pokeball? There it is. And then this will tempt the player into moving it here. And if they move it here and grab the Pokeball, then they'll have to reset. Because they've just closed off this route. And this is the actual route in, because you can't. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, I'm glad we have the puzzle down. Now I need to implement the mechanic that resets these boulders' locations. So, and because I'm actually going to get into the coding of it, or the eventing, it's not really coding. I'll also create a window so that you guys can see what I'm poking around in, what it looks like. Before I get that far, even though, I'm just going to make sure that I think the ice caves have like a reset. If I had to guess. No, it does not look like there's a reset button. So let's start poking around. Let's add a gym sign. This is weird. It's a weird spot for a gym sign. I could actually make it so the player has to walk around, and then hopefully they interact with it. Because I worry that a player may not even think about reading the sign, and if they don't read the sign, then they won't know that they can reset it. So that's something I'll have to consider. Maybe I'll make an NPC that talks with the player and just says, hey, that puzzle's tough. You can reset it by selecting the reset option on the gym. I don't know, something like that. Now let me add a window for you guys so that you can see the wonderful world of eventing. And there you go. That's what I see. I hope it doesn't have to be. I may have to switch to just screen sharing as a whole instead of just window sharing if this proves too burdensome. Or we're going to name this gym sign. We're going to say show text. We're going to put a message in. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to have to share my window for you guys to see what I'm doing because I immediately just opened another option screen and you can't see it. Let me save the game and let me take a look at this. Okay. Pretty promising. Let's see what happens when I make an event. Now it appears twice. Let me just drop the duplicate. There we go. Actually, while I'm here, I'm gonna delete the duplicate. All right. Gym sign. Show text. Welcome to Ryan's gym. That's right. It's currently going to be Ryan. And I can change it to say to put some adjectives in that may reference the typing of Ryan's gym. Who knows? And then we're going to put choices. Yes or no. And in front of this, we're going to just put text and say, do you want to reset the boulders? When no, nothing happens. It just closes out. Now we're going to say this is boulder 1. This is boulder 2. And this is boulder 3. And that's so that I can identify between them. And okay, so now what happens when you click yes? What I probably want to do is actually flash, close the screen, like black out the screen, maybe play a sound, and then reload. And there's screen flash, and I think if every color is maxed, it's black. And number of frames, let's go for 60. I mean, I don't know how that'll turn out. Let's just take a stab at it. And then we're going to play a background sound. Oh, we don't have any sounds to choose from. Is that right? Because I don't want to play... Oh, it's a sound effect. It's not a background sound. And there should be stuff related to rocks. Yes. I think that's what we want to use. So close the screen goes black. You hear kind of like rocks moving. And now we are going to transfer events. I've never actually. I've only ever teleported players in my previous game. Um, I don't think I've ever. It is player, right? Um, it is player. It doesn't let me choose a different event to transport. Oh, set event location. That's actually, I think, exactly what I'm looking for. We want to take folder 1 and put it right there. Let's copy that. And I mean, I also selected this, so we'll just jump straight to boulder 3, which I think is this one. Not that it matters. If I swap them, it shouldn't actually change anything. And then let's also do boulder 2, and it needs to go. I think this is the last one I have. I honestly think it's that easy. Let's take a look at that. Okay. In debug mode, so I'm going to just walk where you shouldn't be able to walk. Here we go. No. We want to push the boulders first. Okay, so I'm going to solve it the intended way. And there we go. We made it to the gym. Now let's reset. Let's see how long the the dark screen is. That was awesome. That was like exactly what I wanted. And that's someone messing it up right there, that route that I just did. Oh shoot. Look at that. You can soft lock yourself in this puzzle. I need to fix that. I need to make it so that you can escape another way. I just realized I could put trainers here. I could put a trainer up here that fights you before you even get inside. And a trainer right here that fights you. I think I might do that. All right, but okay, so okay. I need to make sure you can't soft lock, but let's just look at this again. The one difference being it flashes white instead of black, which is what I initially thought. That's awesome. That is awesome. I'm not even bugged by it flashing white instead of black. Okay, we do need to fix the soft lock though, and that's actually an easy fix. All I really need to do is move this back one. That should really just be all it takes. And then of course move the gym sign back one as well. So let's do that. Oh, whoa. Calm down. I really hope that players read the sign if they ever like get stuck and don't feel like they have to reset. But yeah, so now the problem should be solved because you can push it if you do push it back too far, you can just push it again and you're out. I'm really happy with that. I'm really excited. I really like that puzzle. I wouldn't say it's that difficult, but I'm happy with it because I think it'll definitely get players to stop and pause and think for at least a couple seconds before they solve it. Well, that's it. I think we're done. We're done with Haverage with Handard Town. Still don't know how I feel about that name. Which means that the next step is going to be, or the next stream, I'm going to jump right into the islands. Right into Violent Islands. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next stream.